Alright, hello and welcome to today's video where we will be looking at a scenario where civilization starts over, but it's a little different. This is going to be a little bit of a thing called WICSO multiplayer, as you've seen if you have watched the first episode, but I am carrying the torch for the second episode. The main question I have is, what in the living hell am I meant to work with here? Basically, if you guys don't know, I've reworked this map. This isn't my map, but this is a map that I personally prefer from the other one that is being used. So this is what I'm working with, and I very quickly kind of just redid this. And I mean, cab. What is this? These tiny little. I'm not even gonna say it, but like, what am I meant to work with here? Okay. But basically, what we're going to be doing is actually locking in and trying to get some interesting stuff going. Now, if you guys do enjoy this video, please do like, subscribe to Cab, because I believe this is going to be on his channel, and might as well subscribe to me if you haven't, because, yeah, I'm making this, and I'm wasting my time instead of watching, like, Breaking Bad. Ooh, can't wait for that. But besides that, I think we could get right into this video. Now, in the last video, a lot of things happened somehow, like 26 minutes of that. You gotta give credit, that is surprising. But besides that, the main thing we're going to be seeing is a lot of expansion. Essentially, these were the early days, okay? This is when everything first started. But in the meantime, we have seen the red team expand into all of these areas down south. But, I mean, obviously, it'd be pretty unfair if we didn't give the other countries a chance. Like the pink team, which also does their fair share of expansion up into this way. We will also see this little beige team, kind of. I don't think this is the right color, though, for what they originally had. But they will make their way over here. And last but not least, the blue team, which I'm actually going to rework their color in a second. That looks disgusting. It could look better. Hold on. Okay, that's better. But the blue team also being, I believe, the second country, which, I mean, it always seems to be. We will have them also probably as the second most powerful one, reaching up into these lake areas. And the other thing is, obviously, we're going to have to make this perfecto, because obviously there has to be explored and unexplored areas, which, as we are going to see here, I might as well just encircle all the areas that would be discovered, including a little bit of this island right over here. And with that, that also is going to include the ocean being discovered, which we will have in this area right over here, with the only country really with a coastline actually being the red team right here, which, as a matter of fact, reminds me to give them capital cities. Boop. Don't go on a mountain. Boop, boop. You start right here, and boop. There we go. They moved their capital. That's the excuse. But essentially, with these four, a lot of things are going to happen, and obviously, the first one being a lot of major exploration going into a lot of these areas. Like, for example, Qatar. It very swiftly does get explored, and a lot of people actually continue up in this area. Now, this is mostly people from the red team who are just exploring, but some decide to just keep going further and further until, as they follow the coast, they catch some river or something and begin to go in multiple directions as multiple people go into separate places until they may or may not be lost. So that also means this is kind of forgotten about. So essentially, the last thing that is known for the people who made it back was right around here, while all the others get split off into their own separate branch and little sections, which essentially leaves us with this, where we have one large group over here, and probably the biggest actually, eventually discovering all of this area. Then we have this one, which will simply explore all of this, and then one by the coast, getting all of this. And with this, we obviously have to have a few more countries. And with that, we could have, what do we not have? Like a yellow country? Why not? We gotta also have a great green nation, and then, of course, another light blue nation that will be along the coast right over here. And with this, we have 3 brand new countries that are right here. And as a matter of fact, I mean, it would be kind of stupid if they didn't. But at least for now, only the green team and the blue team discover each other, and they're like, oh, hey, so that's where you went. I wonder where you guys were. But that does mean that there's still an entire party that has not been discovered yet. So they do work together and begin to, at least in some areas, go try to find any possible signs of where these guys could possibly went. And of course, we also have to give them their own capital cities. But with this, what we also are going to see is it's not just the red team that went exploring, but also, I mean, at least a lot of people, specifically the blue team went exploring, except this time they don't fumble the bag by losing their own personnel. How they do that, I have no clue. But instead, they are able to find themselves constantly looking around for new things, and this is also obviously helped by the fact of mostly the beige and the pink team, at least helping in some of these areas right over here, helping explore all of this. And this also includes the blue team, which kind of hogs all these areas for all the newly discovered stuff they will try to steal for themselves, making them very, very large, and I mean the largest one actually by far. But that is going to come to its costs by making them quite unstable, because obviously we have the red team, which I'm going to say is the strongest country in the world, because if we're looking at all the factors, these guys do not win in stability, and you're about to see why. Wow, who could have figured that one? Them starting to rebel. Oh my. But, I mean, that was fair said. The country was becoming a little unstable in, obviously, these newer areas that were recently acquired. So, a lot of these outskirts are very quickly captured by this little rebellious force. And then, once they capture these areas, with some pushes obviously happening, especially in the north right here and on this eastern side, there will be a peace offer, essentially being, you guys give us these lands and we will leave you alone. And seeing that this is a major conflict, they will agree to this deal. And actually, I'm going to slightly fix this border. And once they agree to this deal, this country will, of course, get its own capital city, which we must give them, which shall be right by this lake over here. And the blue team will go along their day as if nothing happened, even though they have just been kind of cooked. And I mean, speaking of, we could also see the little beige team. Or not. Come on, expand. Do it. But, obviously, we're not going to make this the only area that has countries. While sure, it's definitely the most developed area, and honestly the main area that has the countries, we will be taking a look at Turkey specifically, where a lot of people also live here, while mainly starting in this area. There has been some pop-ups going along into a lot of these regions, specifically in northern Anatolia over here, as they go across in all of these areas, as well as parts of western Turkey / Anatolia, whatever you want to call it. And there's actually, as a matter of fact, even some factions that live in the European area, specifically this right over here, and some small parts in Greece. And just like that, we have this whole new section of countries that we can now take a look at. Alright, and as we see right here, there is mainly 3 countries. We have Greece right over here, which, I mean, encompasses most of Greece. Duh. We have, Crete. Not Java. What is wrong with me? We have Java right here, which has surprisingly been able to expand in some of these Greek areas, but also into a lot of these Turkish areas, making, honestly, their island like the smallest part of their nation, but it is surprisingly centralized, so it is fine for now. And we also have this European little Istanbul, Constantinople thing, whatever you want to call it, that has also started to expand their way into Turkey. And with this, we could potentially see these guys in the next episode meet up with the main Mesopotamian nations, or, you never know, maybe the other way around, or we could even see these southern nations right over here potentially meet up with one of the countries up north, like, for example, the red team. You never know what could happen there. But the thing is, as we know, the red team, they're not done just yet, because one thing that has been going on is, speaking of, as they have been getting very, very close to the little lost explorers, which definitely want to be found, but just, look how close they are. Nope, you're not getting it, but they do not get there just yet. But what will happen instead is the red team will continue their way going on into these areas, until they are able to successfully take a lot of them, and also just continue their way down this coast right over here. And then, as a matter of fact, they will also make a little landing right over here, until they are looking something like this, easily being the most powerful nation. And you know what? Just so I don't screw myself over, can I? There we go. That's a little better. It's weird, but at least I could see it better, and I know exactly where the border is. But we will also see this little base country make their way into expanding into more of these areas. And we will also be seeing the blue team, which is very powerful. And I mean, to be fair, so far we're somewhat in an age of peace where no one's really declaring war on whom, or I'm kidding, that would be the case. But what we see instead is a little war happen, with this beige team seeing how powerful this country is getting after this rebellion and after locking in and getting a bunch of land. And with this, they are accompanied by their fellow blue team, which obviously this was a breakaway. And as we can see, they both do work together to get into some areas of the country, which originally go quite well until they are very quickly stopped because the beige team is not very powerful. I wonder what you expected there. But whatever you expected, the answers are getting pushed back, and actually they are about to completely collapse until, Lord and behold, the blue team comes to save the day. I'm kidding. They're going to invade them. You thought they were going to be friends. No. If there's an opportunity, they're going to take it. And this also allows them to fight back the blue team. But don't you worry, because they are also going to attack the red team. That's right, they don't like anyone. So, with this unexpected attack, they will be pushed back. Kind of rhymes, or like, I could be a rapper, I'm telling you. But, point is, it is not going well, because so far, if anything, this seems like some kind of unstoppable force that is kind of cooking everyone. But luckily, you have the red team on your side. So, they will get their little help right here to be able to push them back right all the way over here and then make their way into this area, pushing them back significantly. But what we also see is the blue team able to push back with this bit of a breather until they are able to make further pushes into this area, which will allow them to get over here until they will sue for peace, because this is getting a little chaotic and everyone needs to chill out a little bit. Alright, so in this deal, basically what happens is some minor lands are taken over here, back to the blue team, and then this small area is given to the beige team. Although one thing you see is, they got their capital taken away because of the red team. Let's just say it's a little greedy, so they decided to take this area, forcing them to move their capital over into here. Now, I'm going to end it off right here, so hopefully guys you did enjoy. This might be a little shorter, might not be, I'm not too sure. I'm just trying to get this done. And hopefully as this world is being built upon by other people, it could be more and more interesting, and more people can ruin it. Oh, I'm prepared to do some of that stuff. But besides that, again, if you haven't already, subscribe to Cab, and ideally me too. He's trying to hit probably 100 subs. I think he's at like 50, 40-ish now, so you better guys do that. I'm forcing you, alright? Gun to the head, alright?